In the beginning, the stories, they all belong to the sky god, but the people who lived them, they lamented. For the people of all the worlds, they hungered for their own stories, and I hungered. So I planned, and I was clever, much more clever than the sky god, and all who hung on the words. I hung them on the tricky threads of my mischief. Now they say all stories are Anansi's stories. That suits me. Yes, all stories are Anansi's. But on occasion, I share them with the people. Today, I share them with you in Anansi's Tapestry of Lives. Anansi's Tapestry of Lives is a new tabletop role-playing game supplement filled with varied and various non-player characters to populate your game world. Created by Game Masters for Game Masters, Anansi's Tapestry of Lives is overflowing with NPC descriptions, details, and illustration. The NPC voiceover app gives you access to professionally voiced acted introductory monologues for each and every NPC, along with all the NPC details on your phone or tablet. Virtual tabletop tokens for every NPC makes it easy to bring these beloved characters into play on Roll20, The Forge, or your other favorite VTT. For in-person play, Anansi's NPC cards are tarot-sized reference decks. Each card has the NPC image on one side and important details on the other. Anansi's Journal of Commonplaces provides you with richly detailed descriptions that typical adventure books don't cover. When your players stumble into the castle kitchen or are foraging in a wild berry patch on the road, you can describe the scene perfectly. Plus, you're prepared with hidden details should they search the area. All these tools make your life easier while enriching your gameplay experience. And you get access to these and more by backing our Kickstarter campaign. Back us today to bring these tools to your table and bring your stories to life.
The auroral diamond glows with an olive light, muted, earthy tones in its murky depths. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Radiant Stories. We're on episode 5 of this exciting show where we're going to be playing through some of the adventures in Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel with these lovely people who are here with me, who will now introduce themselves, starting with Alicia.
Oh, I thought you wanted to start with Jen. Okay, we're starting with me. Hold on a minute. Okay, here we go.
We got this.
Okay. We got this. We're good. Hey, everybody. I'm Alicia Marie. You can find me on socials at Alicia Marie Body. I am a professional costume artist and obviously a role-playing enthusiast. Monday nights, you can find me on the Glass Cannon in 4 Ages of the Jump, which is a traveler RPG. And then on Tuesday nights with Lauren and Jen for Children of Erte, which is on the Demi-Plane RPG channel. And tonight, as usual, I will be playing Ravana, Cricket, Wise, Wild Tongue Shifter, Grave Domain, Philosophy Cleric.
Hi, I am Jen Kretschmer. You can find me on Twitter as @DreamWisp, streaming on Twitch as DreamWispJen, on a bunch of fun shows with all of these folks, which we'll talk about later. But today, I am playing your friendly neighborhood cottagecore bard, our Spring Eladrin bestie, Wisteria, who is a College of Creation bard of the floral variety.
And I am Mario Ortegon. I am a writer of many things, one of which is this book that we are playing, not this adventure, but another. Yes, Journeys. And
so good.
Yeah, today I'm playing Vint Cantor. He is a roguish character, member of the Radiant Citadel's Court of Whispers, and he has some mysterious psychic abilities, which manifest as him being a soul knife subclass. Yeah.
And I am always your humble DM, Lauren Urban, here to help tell a bunch of stories with these awesome people. I would like to thank the wonderful people here at Be Never Ending for giving us a home. Their Kickstarter, Anansi's Tapestry of Lives, you saw the awesome video for, is going to be coming up soon. I'd like to thank Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, who gave us a code for this stream. And a reminder that once we hit 500 followers on this channel, there's going to be a giveaway. That's right. If we hit 500 followers at the end of the show, during the credits, we will be giving away a beautiful metal rainbow dice set. So if you aren't already following, go ahead and hit that follow button, and maybe at the end of the stream, you'll have a chance to win some awesome dice. I think that's everything. So let's get into our adventure for today. Last time that we left our heroes, things were getting spooky. Who would like to elaborate from there?
Where do we start? We started our journey to
last week. We started talking to Lady Dre and Proclaimer Ward.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and we started our journey to the rattle, which we know that some creepy things are happening there based on red-eyed farmers and creepy drawings in their hands.
Yeah.
We fought some corrupted coyotes on the way.
Yes, they were chasing a farmer.
Yeah. Whose name
Uncle Polder.
Yes. Uncle Polder. And he invited us to basically, get a little respite at his farm. And I think that is where we ended, right?
We've been traveling through part of the rattle where they're mostly growing sorghum, and the rattle is unique because it has this red clay soil, which we saw on the handprints on the necks of the folks who attacked back at the festival. The crops, though, are dwindling here. There's been some issues with the crops not producing their normal bounty, maybe a drought, something like that. And the issue is widespread. We got some details about the Song of the Diamond as well, that Proclaimer Ward gave us. It's a very old song, talking about when the people of God's Breath were removed from the Radiant Citadel. And these are stories that are not told up on the Citadel because it could sow discord. We Vint did some digging into a fortune teller who used to live here about 20 years ago. And then we had the attack. Uncle Polder said that this is not normal. The ground's gone sour. There have been nasty creatures, and it's gotten worse in the last few weeks. But he does know Kiana, who was the last time he saw her, she was excited to see a friend named Cully, but we have been told that Cully drowned in Cradle Lake, and that was the art we saw. And that there was a farmstead that fell into a sinkhole, and the family tried to escape, but the owner kept pulling them back to try and keep them from escaping. And that they found a pretty grisly scene after the fact of 6 pairs of undead hands trying to claw their way out of the sinkhole. And then we went to Uncle Polder's farmhouse to rest.
And I'll kind of pick it up from there, because the very last thing, as you said, is that Proclaimer Tungsten Ward, who was the initial person that you came to find here in God's Breath, they were very well aware of the story of Cully's unfortunate death, as they are the ones that wrote the song that went into the Awakening song. So they have told you that whole story about the problems at Cradle Lake and what happened with Cully drowning in that lake. And that's why they're so sure that something very terrible has happened with Kiana. As you've taken this short respite at Uncle Polder's, Ustina has gotten back into the cart with Lady Dre and is taking the trip back to Promise because the Awakening Festival, the big festival that happens every single year, is going to be ending soon. And Proclaimer Ward wanted you to have more opportunities to talk to other proclaimers who are there to get more information about what was happening with basically the original reason you were here. There's something going on the Citadel that has something to do with the Auroral Diamond, and see if you can find more stories. So because that festival is ending soon, as much as Ustina wanted to be there for the end of whatever this adventure is, she's going back and is going to hang out with the horses and going to find out some more information, I promise. So it is getting late in the day. Uncle Polder says that if you did want to leave to go to the pact that Kiana is at, the pact meaning the group of farmhouses that all basically work together, and all of the farmhouses are in a group together. If you wanted to get there, it's not that far. You could reach it and still have plenty of time before it gets dark. Or if you would like to stay and rest for the evening, you are welcome to his clean but meager accommodations. A couple of you would probably have to sleep on the floor, but he's more than happy to make do and let you all rest. So it is up to you if you would like to forge on and get to this pact as quickly as possible, or rest up and recover a little bit, but let things continue to be bad for a little while. What would you like to do?
Well, how do you guys feel? Should we, we were traveling for half a day. We ended up fighting a diseased wolf, I guess. Should we just tuck her down for the night since Uncle Polder has offered?
How long have you said we've been here? Sorry, how long would you say we've been here at this point? Like an hour, a little less?
Just about an hour. You would have gotten a short rest by now for sure.
Okay.
So it hasn't been too long.
So would I be able during this time, I'm sure we're talking and stuff like that, but Vint during that time would be a little, I don't know, would be a little absent in that, because he would be trying to sort of feel the place out, not the farm, not Uncle Polder's farm itself, but kind of like the rattle, like, because he has been getting these weird vibes and dreams while on the Citadel, and normally he would try to avoid that kind of thing, but right now it seems that leaning into that could maybe offer him some guidance. I don't know if I can do that.
I would love to give you many opportunities to try. Let me ask a few questions. Are
Okay.
you doing this essentially in front of everybody or while everyone's around, or are you finding a place where you can be alone?
I will, yeah, I will. I guess if we're in the farmhouse, Vint will excuse himself and like go outside and just, wander around the property and see everything around and try to kind of like put himself back in a place where he doesn't want to go often, which is kind of like just try to think back to the place where he lived here. And he kind of has that meditation background from his time, all the time that he spent trying to hone his abilities, and he kind of knows, mentally and visually there's a door that he just doesn't go into. And right now is going to try to peek into that door in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And you head outside, you kind of wander towards the back of this farmhouse so that you're still close by in case of trouble, but definitely have a little bit of quiet. And it is eerily quiet out here for a farmstead in an area that is supposedly essentially a breadbasket for Promise. It is very still. It is it's in the middle of the afternoon, but there's a darkness. Everything feels very grim. and give me an investigation check with advantage.
Okay. Go. It is 19.
Nice. You soak in the atmosphere for a moment and then look around, kind of investigating the very specific area you are with the sorghum and the dirt. There's a few farm implements nearby. There's the actual farm's house. You're not sure what you're looking for, but because you're looking to connect with this part of you that you don't often want to use, you're not even sure yourself what you're looking for. And eventually you find yourself just looking directly at the ground, at the base of some of these sorghum plants that are doing okay, but like Wisteria had mentioned earlier, they're not as healthy as they should be. And you kneel down and take one hand and place it on the dirt. And in the back of your head, you hear your friend Zarietta, and you hear her repeating what she had said, was it only a couple of hours ago? About, there's a storm coming, you know. You can feel it, right? And there's something about her words, especially since she seems to be so much more in tune with this ability than you are, that gives you an in into your meditation. And you almost use her, there's a storm coming, can't you feel it? As a mantra. And you dig your hands into the ground. And I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Ooh, okay. Here we go. It is an 18.
Excellent.
Yes.
Mhm.
It gets incredibly quiet. Your eyes are still open, but it's almost as though everything has stilled around you. And it's a kind of gray, overcast sky, but no storms are threatening. But as you hear her words and hear her voice, it's almost as though you can hear thunder. But it's not coming from the sky, it's coming from the ground. And as you continue to dig your fingers into the dirt, this red, almost clay that you can feel getting under your fingernails a little bit, there's a brief flash of something burrowing, something digging, something that is not supposed to be there. You can't see it. All you see are hands and dirt and scrambling and more dirt. And there's a overwhelming feeling of sadness that comes with it. And then as this vision fades out and you hear thunder again, but that rumble through the ground, then up in the sky,
Mhm.
that sadness turns, and you almost self-consciously grip the ground in a fist as you bring your fingers together, as there is anger. There is so much from this whole area. Whatever is causing this is close. Whatever is causing this is related to what's going on in the ground, what's going on in the rattle, what is going on in God's breath. This is a symptom of a problem that is all connected, and it's not your anger, but it's almost like you can feel the earth being furious.
Okay. Well, I imagine this will take some time. So before I burst in the door with this information, I want to give time for Wisteria and Cricket to do their thing. So.
And after this, as everything kind of fades and you are able to extract your hand from where you've been gripping the mud, and it's going to take you a moment to kind of compose yourself.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, Cricket and Wistina,
Yeah.
Wistina, is there anything else you would like to ask or take care of?
Okay.
Go ahead.
But so Cricket is definitely gonna get some sleep because she went in there, during the fight. So she's gonna just ask Uncle Polder, so where should we, if we're going to Sierra for the night, it looks like we're going to, where should we sleep?
Yes. I'll make up a couch. I'll make up some blankets. It's like I said, it's gonna be a little bit tight, but seem like rugged folk who can take a night on the ground if you need. And he'll go off to he's got some extra blankets. He doesn't really have any extra pillows, but all of you have some basic supplies if you needed to camp.
This is good. This is good. This is perfect. This is all we need. All right, we'll just do this. We'll sleep. Wisteria, do you want to turn in? You're good?
I think that it's probably a good idea for us to get some rest. I'm happy to make some tea for everyone.
I would love that.
So Wisteria goes and starts preparing tea. They take out a really beautiful but sturdy metal tea set, so that it won't break, and it's good for traveling. It's lightweight. I could go with it. It's made of mithril just because I'm gonna. And it's really beautifully carved. It sort of is a hybrid style of the very formal Victorian teapots, along with the really beautiful kind of more flat Japanese style. I know I'm blanking. My words are not so great today, but I know there's a name for the both of those, and it's not. But
you know what though? This is in God's breath. This is a fantasy world. So
but if you
whatever
want to
you
imagine what
it
it looks like, but it sort of has that, it hybridizes those two into a really beautiful elongated sprout, and it has various flowers and vines. The handle is made of vines. And I will prepare an evening tea, so not too much caffeine, nice and soothing and relaxing and enjoyable. And then get some rest and recover a little bit, because I've already looked at the plants and we've talked to Uncle Polder about everything that he knows that might be relevant, right?
I think so.
And Uncle Polder will also say that he can't think of anything else that you need to say, that he needs to, that would be relevant. And I'll say, Vint, around this time, you smell the tea.
Okay, that's definitely part of the thing that helps bring him back from where he is, like the scent of tea. Both taking him back to the time that he spent with Henrietta earlier, like enjoying the tea, like their time in the tea house, kind of like using that as an anchor. He composes himself and eventually goes back in, not bursting through the door, as I previously said. So while everyone is sort of preparing for to rest, Vint will look around and say, this might be a little more pressing than we initially thought.
What do you mean?
How so?
Something is moving. It's working tirelessly, digging into the land. We may not have a lot of time.
What happened to you outside then?
He kind of looks around a little uneasily and says, I believe I mentioned that I used to live here a very long time ago. My mother, she had these visions and abilities that she used to help people. I do have some of that myself. However, I cannot control it the way she did.
Wait, what kind of abilities? What do you mean you have abilities? Is this something we don't know about you? Is this something you can control?
Well, we know now because he just told us.
Yeah.
So, That's
It's
really neat.
It is.
I mean, he kind of goes for a moment between going like, yeah, it is,
Yeah.
and just like, well, it can be useful sometime, but also it's difficult. The future is not always static.
Most things worth doing are difficult, though.
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm telling you this is because we may not have enough time to get an entire night's of rest. However, if you do need it, I could scout ahead and tell you if we need to move faster. I can link our minds together like I did last time.
Oh, all right. I
Well,
suppose so.
I mean, of course, we do not want you to put yourself in harm's way. That's why we are all here together. But if you can see things that could potentially protect us, by all means.
I am very good at staying in shadows. So, like I said, I'll just take a look around and tell you if what I saw is indeed real. And if we need to move now, I'll call you and you can come over. And if we don't, then you can take the rest.
I'm very excited to have conversations with Kiana.
Yeah, me too.
All right then. Do you always travel with T-Set Wisteria?
Always, don't you?
No, I travel with a shovel. This is good though. It's very good. You have to give me recipes sometime.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I will definitely have a tea if that's okay before I leave.
Yeah, I pour tea. So if it ends up being a short rest, we can. This is using my song of rest. If we can get a long rest, that would be awesome.
You definitely all have a short rest before whatever you'd like to do next happens. Whether it's just continue to have tea or Vint is going to sneak ahead.
Yeah. Well, if we do get our short rest, I get my Mind Whispers ability back, so I will use it to link us three together. And yeah, if that's okay, while they rest, I will just scout ahead.
I mean, if it's okay with you, it's okay with me.
Don't go too far. I just don't want you to get in trouble and need help, and we can't get there in time. So
yeah,
I'll make sure to. I make sure that you can hear me scream if anything happens.
Good, because we are missing.
Well, that's not so reassuring. Now I'm not sure we should sleep.
No, please.
I don't really want to be awoken by screaming, both because it's hard to wake up and also because of the implications of the screaming.
Right.
Kind of horror. And we're also missing major piece of muscle on the team. You know,
right. That's right.
Yeah, let's not do anything crazy. Let's save the crazy for when she's back here.
Uncle Palder will give you directions to the pact that Kiana is a part of. It is going to be about 10 more minutes down the road. So the round trip could be as little as 20 minutes, but you could definitely be pretty far away when you get to this pact. So do you still want to go take that trip?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna. So basically, what I want to do is just that go outside the area and look around. I'm not gonna like enter or like poke in places that are not easily visible from a distance. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. All right. So as the rest of you enjoy some tea and Vint heads off to go check on things, we're going to take a really brief break for something exciting to happen. So, hey, everybody, stick around and we will be right back. Thank you for your patience. As you can probably tell, we had to take a small break so that we could expand our cast a little bit. So it was a very, very good break. But before we get to the next person who has shown up, we're going to hang out with Vint a little bit. So Vint has decided to take a little bit of a trip, a small trip, out to the pact that Kiana is a part of, the farmstead with all of the houses basically helping each other out across a larger bit of farmland. Vint, you get directions from Uncle Palder. It's very simple. It is literally keep going down the road. You'll see it on your left. It'll be the next group of houses. It takes about 10 minutes of walking to get there. And as you get close, it sounded like, well, let me back up a minute. As you get close, you can kind of see the farmsteads in the distance. Are you trying to be stealthy as you approach, or are you trying to save time and see as much as you can?
No, I will definitely be stealthy as I can, which
Perfect.
is very stealthy.
You're pretty stealthy. So go ahead and roll that stealth check and let's go from there.
Okay. That is 13, and I'm gonna use my side bolster talent to roll a d6 and add that to my roll, which is a 2 for a total of 15.
Excellent. As you approach this pact, this group of houses, for a while, it's actually easy to stay hidden because everything is very overgrown. The farmsteads that you've come past, while they haven't been the healthiest of crops, it's been well maintained. It's obvious that people have been trying to do what they can. This obviously has gone into disarray for a while. So everything is overgrown. The plants are either out of control growing or rotting on the vine, and you see nobody as you approach. So up until you get within the 7 farmhouses of the pact, you're pretty stealthy. It gets a little more dicey as you get up to the farmhouses, as now it's more open territory. You kind of, I know you talked about you didn't want to actually go inside houses, you're just taking a quick scope, but you can either stay further back and stay more hidden, or you'd have to approach and basically use the backside of some of these farmhouses in order to get a better look at things. Which do you want to do?
Okay. Are there any sounds that I can pick up from where I am, like movement or shuffling in the place?
Give me a perception check.
Yes. That is an 18.
With an 18, you stop and listen, and it is dead quiet. There's no birds. There's no people. There's nothing.
That's more worrying in a way. So, yeah, I will just report back through the mind link and tell Cricket and Wisteria, I'm here. It's dead quiet. Not even animals.
Before they respond, you do notice one other thing with that perception check. Okay. You had been taking a moment to listen, and you heard nothing, which is weird in and of itself. And now that you have reported that back, you take a moment and just, you kind of smell the air, and it's rotten. The crops are rotting in the fields. And you look, and you can very clearly see of all of the 7 farmhouses that are arrayed in this small community.
Yeah.
6 of them have massive red X's all across the front, just a huge, muddy red X across the doorway. You can at least tell that it is mud. It's the red mud from the ground. 6 of them have this. 1 does not.
Does that mean anything to me? Is there any context to that?
There's no context from your history. There's no context from God's breath, as far as you know. Something tickles at the back of your brain a little bit from that That moment that you reached out with those other senses, though, would you like to reach out again?
Well, I'm here, so I might as well.
I love that attitude.
Yeah.
Give me another wisdom saving throw.
Okay, I will do that. Oh, I got an at 20 for
Hey!
21.
Yes.
Awesome. It's easier this time. It's more comfortable this time. You have more control. And for a moment, you're standing inside of this house. And you just inherently know this is Kiana's house. This is the one without the red X. So you still don't have context for the X, but you know at least that's Kiana's house. And then you feel like you're sinking into the ground. And you hear the clawing of dirt again. And then it's gone.
Okay, that changes things. Well, I'm gonna start heading back. And my message as I do is, I think she's there. I think she's being pulled. We need to move fast. And kind of like, you know, my intention would be that I'm gonna start moving back, but ideally we'll meet in the middle, because I imagine they'll move after that. It's not gonna. No, we're gonna wait till morning. Hopefully.
Well, what's your? You can respond in this psychic link, right? So, what's your response?
You hear snoring on Cricket's side. You told her to go to sleep. She's sleeping.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Short rest.
What about Wisteria? Is Wisteria also sleeping?
No, I mean Wisteria doesn't sleep. So
oh, right.
So well, do you need help, or are you coming back, or?
Yeah, I can meet you in the middle.
Okay, let me wake everybody up. Hang on. And I start going around and I start waking everybody up.
Oh, what? Is it time to go? What time is it? Oh, did we get the rest we needed? And Cricket's just sort of looking at herself, make sure everything's sort of looking good. Okay. Did you hear from Vint?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we go. And she sort of picks the shovel.
As the two of you grab whatever it is that you need, Proclaimer Ward says that they are going to stay with Uncle Palder and make sure everything's going to be okay here. And the two of you exit the farmstead to see a familiar face. Hey, BB, you've just arrived at this farmstead. You're literally walking up to basically to go past this house. You've been given directions to where your friends are going. They're going to a farmstead that belongs to Kiana because something bad has happened to her. And so you are actually going about another 10 minutes down the road when all of a sudden the door to this farmstead opens up and you see two of your companions.
You see him like walking with like a map up and it's like, oh, hello, I found you. Hi.
Hi. Where have you been?
Well, I mean, kind of doing that investigation and talking to folks that we talked about the was it titanium?
Tungsten.
It was tungsten.
Tungsten, sorry, yes. About the tungsten, but I got this letter, told me that I need to come meet you guys here. Something's happened.
Oh, yeah, so we've got to go help BB. So, would you like to come with us?
You want to help me?
What?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We want to go. I'm sorry. We want to go help Vint. It's been a long day. Tired.
I understand. Oh, I understand. Oh, okay. Well, tell me what to do. I'm here. How can I help?
We don't know yet, but BB's having some issues, and we said we would help. So we're gonna go try and help.
Okay. All right. Oh gosh, it's been a while though. How you guys been? and then you just see him like start walking the opposite direction because he has no idea where he needs to go. It's like
Cricket like reach over
Yeah.
and like pat like BB's head and go, oh my, are you always this hot?
Maybe, I don't know. I feel normal.
Oh wow.
Like I don't know. Sometimes it just gets warmer. I thought it's the weather.
It's very interesting. Do you feel ready for anything tonight? Because we don't know what we're going to face when we meet Vint.
Well, if by anything you mean ice cream, that sounds grand.
Well, perhaps we will find out in just a little bit. And she's going to start marching forward with her shovel on her shoulder this time.
All right.
I think at
Overly
that,
dramatic.
as he watches Cricket walk away, he turns to his deer. He goes, is this like really serious stuff? Like really bad?
Maybe. We're gonna find out.
Oh,
Isn't that exciting?
yeah, that's yeah. Oh boy, okay. And he just starts walking.
All right. It only takes about 5 minutes before down the road coming in the opposite direction. Unless you're stealthing. Are you stealthing, Vint?
Probably. Yeah, probably. But when I see them, I step out into the road.
We see you. We see you.
I'm like, shh. I move forward and I say, I had a vision while there, like the one I had in the house, and then I look at BB and say, hi.
Hello.
Oh yeah, we found BB. Or BB
He
found
found
us.
Oh,
It was a
BB.
mutual finding.
Oh, you're the one that burned down that store, right?
Yeah. Oh, I guess everybody knows. But yes, that was me.
Oh, well, I hope you get it back.
Thank you. You're really nice.
Well, I mean, yeah, people lose. Oh, sorry. I mean, there's pressing things happening right now.
Pressing.
I think Kiana is in there being pulled down into the earth, like they said the people were. I had a vision of, yeah, there's hands pulling down someone in one of those houses.
Oh, in one of the houses in the pact?
Yeah,
Farmhouses?
they are all marked with red X's, and there's one that isn't. And I'm pretty sure that's Kiana's house, and someone is being pulled into the earth by hands. I mean, like, after I say it, I go like, that just sounds ridiculous, but that's what I saw. Yeah.
Cricket's looking at you like this. Maybe you should have gotten some rest when we did. Just a thought.
It's something's happening, and I got the feeling that it was, it wasn't something that we wanted to wait on. So sorry, I had to wake you up.
Question.
No, it's fine.
Quick question. Did you mean like the hand thing happened in your vision, or it happened like now, or like it's happening and we should probably rush in and do something?
Maybe. So, okay, I get visions of the maybe future, maybe now. I'm not really sure. So it might be happening now, or it might be something that will happen if we don't get there fast enough. But in either case, we should probably hurry.
Okay, then we go. I just have one question about the houses. You said the houses all had a red X that is on the house, or you had the vision of a red X? There's a difference.
No, it is. There's literally red X's painted on the houses.
Oh.
Does anyone know what that means?
Oh.
That they had red paint?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, no, the clay in the ground is red, and we also saw that the farmers had the red around their necks. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever's
Not a
doing
great
this
thing.
is marking things.
But what is marking things?
Something with hands, maybe.
Thank you very much. I wasn't sure. All right, let's just go. Let's just go now. Okay.
I just realized how condescending that sounded. But it was, I meant many hands, multiple hands.
Okay.
I mean, it's all creepy and
Yeah.
in kind of the rush of trying to explain this vision that you had, you know, the feelings that you got are hard to put into words. So, but
yeah.
I'm going to assume that this was an Aaron Sorkin walk and talk, and you have all going to basically around now arrived back at Kiana's pact, and you all, well, actually, let me ask the same question I asked Vint. Would you all like to be stealthy as you come on in, or are you making haste?
Let's be, well, Vint would probably instinctively go stealthy, but I don't know if anyone else.
Well, no, we're going
will
to
follow.
Yeah, we're going to take your lead.
Okay. Okay, stealthy then.
And they were so stealthy that they just disappeared off the screen. But let's actually find out. Our team is headed to Kiana's farmstead, and they're trying to be stealthy. And I asked for everybody to roll stealth checks. Cricket, what'd you get?
14.
And Vint?
14 as well.
And BB?
Not 20.
Oh,
For a full 20.
For full 20. So I gotta ask, this little fiery kobold, who is not normally stealthy, what makes you so stealthy at the moment?
So I just cannot imagine this guy intentionally suddenly becoming stealthy, even as much as he wants to, like consciously being stealthy. So unconsciously, I could just imagine him that as we were all walking, as we talked about, we're kind of going into more of like a rustic area of town. And so like the old school, Wild West sort of towns where you have like boardwalks kind of lift up a little bit. So there's like a gap underneath that. And then like the road is on the side. I can just imagine him as he's like talking to the crew, or like he's looking at his map or something, looking at something else. He happened to just go underneath that instead of above it, while everybody else is above sneaking. And he's just like walking along like that. And then like, it's literally just because he cannot be seen unintentionally.
I love it. I love it. And Wisteria, what did you get?
dirty 20.
All right. So Vint and Cricket, you're doing pretty well. You're staying quiet, but the two of you have a little bit more of the urgency of getting there a little bit faster, while Wisteria and BB are both being slightly more cautious, but doing a slightly better job being quiet and unnoticed. And all of you, as you arrive at these farmhouses, they are as described by Vint. And it is so unnaturally still that all of you feel that tingle up your spine of just something is wrong. And Vint, you can very clearly see the one house that does not have the X on it.
Okay, I'll point it to everyone else and just show the X's, and that's signal that that's what I meant. And I say, somehow, whatever's in there, pointing to the house that isn't marked, I say, whatever's in there is being pulled into the ground. Question, Lauren, just to make sure I understand. None of these houses are sunken into the ground like the legend Tungsten mentioned, right?
None of them are sunken into the ground. And you also know that when you get these kind of visions, they can be a little
subjective, or
like this one was very clear, but it could also it came to you very clearly, but it could also be metaphor. You're getting a sense that it's a little more than that because of the vividness of it, but looking around at these houses, there's no sign of sinkholes.
Okay. Can I is the house closest to us as where we are right now? Is that one of the marked houses with the X?
Yes. So the way that the pact is set up is with the exception of Kiana's house, which is in the middle, and it is slightly larger. And you all know that this is kind of how pacts are set up, that there's one in the middle that is serving as a meeting place. Usually that's where meals are served out of. And so it's a slightly bigger home. And then all the others are right around it. And so the one that you're closest to does have an X on the door. And then from there, you would follow the path up to the house in the middle.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna take a look.
Before you go in, could I ask you something?
Yes.
Could you maybe describe like how those hands look like? Did they look something like this? And then he casts Mage Hand, and you just see like a hand, kind of like a magical hand, pop up next to him. It's like, was it like that? Or, and then he's going to try instead showing Minor Illusion and show like a bunch of hands that look like very clearly like illusions happening. He's like, or was it kind of like this? Just so maybe we have a better understanding.
Did I get a sense, Lauren, of how they looked, or do I just know that they're hands?
You know their hands. Go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw to kind of dig back into that vision and get a clearer picture.
All right, here we go.
Are all these giant
13.
hands like just flashing up into the sky when we're trying to be sexy?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is...
I'm sorry, Vint, what'd you get?
13.
13. It's not as easy to think about it this time. And there's something about these hands as you focus in on them. It's an ache in your brain to try to distinguish between metaphor and actual. This is one of those moments in where your brain and your mind are trying to grasp something that is so much more of an innate feeling than words. But you concentrate for a moment, you only make out the very tips of fingers. They seem like real hands, all human hands. And you do know that the vast majority of the people here in God's Breath are humans. That's kind of the most number of people that are here, but all sorts of different hands. But they do seem like real.
Okay, I will. Seeing the second manifestation of hands, which look as illusions but real, I will point to that and I say they were definitely real. They were people hands. They were not magic.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's more creepy. Okay.
Yeah.
So human hands, not like any version of humanoid. Definite human hands.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to distinguish sometimes, but just innately, I get a sense that might be the case.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
what's the plan of attack then? Like, how do we know what to do? Are we just gonna like burst through the door, yell, "Anybody need a hand"?
I don't know if we should burst through. So she goes. I just got that.
But yeah, that line could backfire, really fast. But no, I say, well, we can go directly to the house that I saw, or we can try to piece together what happened here, what the X's mean.
What do the X's mean? Well, okay, let's just, maybe each of us has our own interpretation. Yeah. I would think, this is me, don't quote me. I would think that those have already been completed. And this one has yet to be completed, whatever that means.
Oh, I think it's
what do you think they're turning them into?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Question, Lauren, would I, in my investigations, have had come across any sort of connections with our previous thing that we were investigating to something along this lines? Is there any sort of hints or things that I might have picked up on that could give better understanding about this, or completely removed?
As far as the red X's go?
Yeah, and that's like any part of the situation, would there be? I'm sorry. I hope I'm not being too broad. I'm just like kind of piece together, or is this like something that to BB at least is a completely different scenario compared to when we went when fought the what was that beast again, the creature that we fought
the Marauder?
Yeah, the Marauder.
Nothing about these X's strike you as anything either connected to the Marauder, obviously, or indicative of something else, especially as you kind of think about your magical background and the things that you've studied. Same with Vint before. There's nothing that is historical, nothing that comes to mind. The explanation that Cricket gives seems to be at least the idea of this being something local and simple. There probably are answers here. This is not something that is a widespread marking beyond the implications of a red X on something.
And it's made from the clay we established, right? From like the local area. Okay.
Yeah, especially now that you've moved up to one of the houses and are getting ready to go towards Kiana's house. It's very clear this is someone has very, in most cases, sloppily, but it's clear it's an X, just smeared red clay over the front of almost all of these buildings.
Vint will try, while we are sort of discussing this, I imagine we are kind of like moving a little while we're doing this, and as we move closer to the house nearest to us, Vint's gonna try to check the door. He's gonna use his psionic telekinesis, i.e. invisible mage hand, which is just like he reaches out and tries the door to see if it's unlocked, and if it is, he's gonna try to open it slowly.
Okay. As this discussion is going on, you do that. You actually notice the door is ajar. It's open a good couple of inches.
But why would the door want to be ajar?
I mean, you'll have to ask the door. You'll have to insight the door. Very good.
Puns tonight.
That one's an inescapable.
Woo! That was beautiful.
Yeah, you know what? As soon as I said the door is ajar, I just called it into existence. It's my fault.
Like I moonwalked into that one.
You push open the door with your mental abilities, and from the outside, just taking a quick look in, this house, one of the ones that has the red X on it, it looks like it's been tossed, like everything is kind of in disarray. Most of, from what you can see, you're kind of seeing the front entrance in the living room a little bit. And I'll say even you kind of catch a glimpse through one of the windows that's right there to get more of a view. There's dust on a lot of the stuff in there, like it hasn't been used in days. And there's more of this red mud smeared across places, and in a couple of places, very clear red mud handprints, just like what you have seen across the people's chests and throats. But this specific one, it looks like it's abandoned. Like something happened and then it was abandoned. But without going in, you can't tell anything further. And actually, Vint, give me a perception check with advantage for reasons.
Here we go. Ooh, it's good that I had advantage. I got a 9.
Okay.
The other one was a 1.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
For a second, you think to look at some of the other houses that are nearby, and it's kind of a quick glance. And the house to the right and the house to the left, you're able to get enough of a view. The one to the right, the windows are smashed. And you think that door is also just slightly open. And the one to the left, same thing. It looks like the door has been left open, but you can't see the rest of the farmhouses except for the main one in the middle, Kiana's house. And that door does seem to be closed.
Okay. Ben will just turn to everyone and say, "It does seem like whatever happened here happened a long time ago, and
Okay.
if we're gonna help someone, it's probably gonna be in there." He points at the center.
All right,
It-
then let's go.
You're saying Kiana's house is in the center, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but and then if you're sensing that something's urgent, then it's urgent. Let's go.
Yeah. I start treading that way. Hopefully stealthy too.
I'll take your stealth checks from before, especially since nothing has really changed.
Okay.
You do have to kind of cross a little bit of an open field, so at least visually, your stealth is going to be hard to maintain, but you're able to stay quiet and walk up to this house. It is definitely bigger than the others, and it has a fairly nice porch on the front. The door into the inside is closed, and the windows all are intact, unlike that other house, and all of the curtains have been shrouded.
Well, it seems like a very private person lived here.
Question: does Mage Hand work through glass? Like, let me see the description. I can't remember.
I think you have to see where to place it. So it would work through glass, but all of the windows are
Point
there's
you choose
curtains across
within
them.
range.
Yeah, it says just range. It doesn't say it need like visual range.
Oh.
But it's going to be hard to know what to do with it if you can't see what is there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Unless
what
you're
I
a
wanted
very
to do was
specific kind
It was
of
like
rogue.
peer through the window kind of thing. And then
yeah.
do it?
Yeah, or like
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
can unlock
that's within
things.
range,
Okay.
right?
you can
Yeah,
if Mage Hand does not require sight to cast, if you would like to cast it inside of one of, on the other side of one of these windows and try to open up a curtain.
Yes, that is exactly what I want to do.
I love it. Give me an Arcana check. Just to
Okay.
see, because you are placing this in a place you can't see and then moving it in a direction where you can't watch it.
Yeah, and this is and I think it's important in this case, but this version of Mage Hand is invisible just in case. It's not it's not a glowy thing. It's at 16 Arcana.
Excellent.
Hey.
You all silently wait for a moment as Vince, invisible Mage Hand, eventually makes it up to the window, and what all of you see is just the heavy curtain covering this window get pulled back on one side. And looking in, you can very clearly see this is a kitchen.
Oh.
It looks like it's been torn apart. There are pots and pans scattered everywhere. There are drawers and cabinets open. You can see that there's bits of food that have been left out. Some of it is clearly starting to rot. And the thing that you all gravitate towards are 4 figures, 4 farmers, decked out in regular hardy farming gear, standing in a very tight circle off to one side of the kitchen, kind of across the way from where there's a little table that doesn't look like it's been disturbed. All of them are holding pitchforks, knives, things that you would find in a farm that could be turned into weapons, like the farmers that you saw before from Promise. They're all in kind of disrepair. They're rusty, they're old, and while the farmers are holding them tightly, none of them look like seasoned warriors. None of them are holding them in a way that is aggressive. And in fact, they're all in this foursome tight circle facing each other, not moving, not speaking. And the one that you can clearly see the front of from the window, eyes have that blank look, bright red handprint on the front.
That's creepy.
And how far away are we? We are at this point. You're
on the other side of this window. The kitchen is fairly large because this is obviously the kitchen where they're cooking a lot of the meals for the entire pact from. From the window, these 4 farmers, they're kind of up against the one of the counters and the shelves, maybe 15 feet from you. And then you can see a little further out from you, there's a door that would lead into this kitchen. That door is closed, and that's maybe 40 or not 40, I'm sorry, 15, like 30 feet out. And on the other wall, there is this table that seems to be the only thing untouched in the kitchen.
And when you say it's untouched, is there like something on it? Does it look like it itself is magical, or like with carvings of any sort, or is there a particular visible reason that it's not being touched?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, that is a 10.
That was a journey of noises. You get a little bit closer to the window and peer through. It's not the clearest of glass. It hasn't been cleaned in a while, so it's a little hard to see. There's nothing on the top of the table. The table itself looks plain. You're pretty sure there's no, at least obvious, magical markings on it. But a lot of it is hard to see. It is weird that, especially with some of the other houses that you've peeked in and Vint has talked about, a lot of it looks like it's in disarray or been tossed or been broken, and it's sitting there is awkward. And so you think to look below it, and there is a trap door under the table.
Do anybody else see that? Looks like there's a trap door under there.
Under the table?
Yeah, the table. It's kind of weird that that's the only thing not touched. Like everything else has been destroyed or turned over, except that. And then now there's a trap door under it. Anybody else see that? Is that just me?
Well, so are they protecting what's under there? Are they keeping things in or keeping things out?
Good question. I don't know.
I was going to suggest we look for a different entrance, but it seems that whatever is down there is important, so we might as well.
How
Do you
far?
think we can get them to come out and distract them somehow?
We don't know what they are yet, though. Are they?
They're just like the people we saw in town, aren't they?
Yeah.
They have the marker on their necks and everything.
And they weren't undead, right?
No.
Not undead.
They
were
undead.
charmed or enchanted in some way.
Is it because
Turn.
of the hand things? Do you think that's
Well,
important?
no,
to
because just
making it-
removing the hand didn't make it go away.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that's part of whatever activates that, but once they're charmed, yeah, they just remain that way.
Do you guys remember how you beat it? Like,
We had to knock them out.
Yeah.
oh,
We didn't kill them. We just sort of knocked them out because we wanted to investigate and see what was going on, but we could not tell what was controlling them like puppets to attack us.
huh.
They are fairly, they're regular people. They shouldn't pose much
Yeah.
issue.
Well, Vint, how about you can do mage hand too, right? Is that how you open the curtain?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What about if we use mage hand and it's just like chucked like something on the back at the back of their head so it knocks them out? Maybe. I mean, we're on the other side. At least get that way we get them down to like just one or two.
Like Sontarans? No, that's way too many. I went through way too many. Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Oh, I was like, oh wait, we're in the game that has the real. No, we're not in that game.
Oh.
Never mind. I made up a random word because I'm nervous. That's the thing
Oh.
I do apparently. I make up random words when I get nervous.
I do that too.
Yeah.
You're good.
Thanks.
You okay?
No, I mean we could try.
Thanks.
They don't have a lot of stamina from unless these people are different, which they might as well be. But I don't know.
I mean, it's worth
can
a shot.
try.
So that way we don't
Yeah.
have to like face them directly.
No.
Yeah.
So you're going to try to distract them with the hand. You're going to try to.
Oh, nor so put them to a nice little nap.
Oh. All right. I'm
Oh
all
wait,
for
I
it.
have something that might be better for that.
Oh,
Well, I mean, at least for one
Go
of
ahead.
them. Are any of them standing near a wall, Lauren?
Two of them are next to one wall of the kitchen. They're
Mhm.
technically next to like the counter and some of the shelves, so they're not like right next to a wall. But the cluster of four of them, two of them are right up against the counter and that wall, that side.
Okay. So, well, what do you say you do the mage hand thing, and I'll do my thing and see where it
Okay.
leads. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I imagine you will need some positioning because you need to grab whatever you're gonna grab.
Yeah.
I know, I got it. And then you just see BB like press his face against the glass even closer to kind of see. And essentially what he's gonna try to do is, considering it's like a kitchen, like anything, like maybe like grab like a heavy looking pot or like a pan of some sort and just basically bonk them on the back of one of them on the back of the head.
I love this, but I have one question. How
Yeah.
much can Mage Hand carry?
10 pounds.
10 pounds?
According, let me double
That's
check.
5.
10 pounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. You do see there's several pots easily within reach.
Mm.
One of them looks like it's really nice cast iron. So you think, even though it's not huge, you
Mhm.
know those are heavy.
I mean, without the intent to like cause damage or something, but just like almost like the comical cartoonish bonk on the head to make them like faint. Is what he's kind of
You're basically
hoping
gonna
for.
just drop it, right? Like it's
Yeah,
not really
yeah.
like hitting.
Yeah.
or like-
More
yeah.
like just like a ding kind of a thing at the back of the head, at least for one of them.
Okay.
Um,
Are you intending to quote unquote attack with it, or are you talking about what Vint was describing of pulling it above one of their heads and then just letting go?
I think for him, yeah, I think especially considering that might actually be more stealthy, that yeah, it'll be something that kind of just drops from a little bit above onto the head.
Okay. All right.
So,
Yeah. And
ca-
at
Sorry.
the same time that happens, Vint is gonna use his telekinetic push to shove one of them directly into a wall and try to knock them out that way.
Oh.
All right. Here's what I need. Vint, does your telekinetic push come with a attack or a saving throw?
Saving throw. It is a strength saving throw.
Okay. BB? I'm assuming you're not proficient in pots. What I'd like you to give me, I'd like you to give me a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tell you what happens.
Oh, this is not okay.
Uh,
That's a 14 for sleight of hand.
Excellent. So you use your mage hand to grab one of these pots, lift it up over the head of one of them as Vint channels his might to push one of these farmers into the wall. Vint, you get no resistance. This person does not even attempt to resist. So as you push, they hit the side of the counter and a little bit of the wall and stumble just as BB drops the pan, which hits on this other farmer's shoulder. It doesn't quite get their head, but it lands on their shoulder with it's a dull thud. I mean, that's still gonna hurt. And then it falls off and clatters to the ground, to the wood on the floor, and loud enough that all of you can clearly hear it from outside. The one that's the one that the pot is dropped on, does not react. And Vint, the one that you've pushed into the wall, stumbles, and their face is still blank and expressionless, and their eyes are that far away glazed over look. And as they regain their feet slowly, they just walk back into position, and the four of them continue to stand, staring directly at each other.
what?
Okay.
Deeply unsettling.
Yeah. I'd rather take your hands than what just happened there.
Well, we should probably. I mean, they don't seem even aware. Maybe if we just go past them.
I mean, this is kind of like those situations where you do that and then you think you're safe, and then right as you go past, there you go, reach out and grab you. But if you think that's the safe bet,
Wow.
There's no safe bet.
Maybe we can just in advance like tie their hands or something so they couldn't do that to us.
I have a feeling they're not going to react to us if we walk in front of them. I say we go right now.
What if they're waiting for something?
Then we will also be waiting for something. Let's go.
I like that idea.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Go
You
ahead,
head
marking
towards
in.
you head towards the front door. It is, while it is closed, unlike the other houses, it is not locked. And as you open the door, the front door doesn't lead directly into the kitchen, obviously. It kind of leads into a hallway that has a couple of different rooms off of it. But the kitchen is right there. So is your intent to go right to the kitchen door, open it up, and enter?
Oh, yes, I want to do that. But I also have to remember that I don't have Ustina standing right behind me like I usually do. So I can't be as, crazy as...
right.
Well, since we just entered in a new room, it might be worth to just look around, see if there's anything else here, right? Before we go into the kitchen. Like,
Okay.
is there anything here?
Sorry, go ahead.
Where was that table? Was that table that Bibi saw in the kitchen as well?
In the kitchen, yeah.
Everything you saw was in the kitchen, yes.
Okay.
Everybody give me perception checks from where you are, on the assumption that you're kind of taking a quick look and gauge around before you go into the kitchen.
Okay.
Rolled a 23.
Oh, nice. And I have advantage.
Nice. I got a 22.
Okay. Second roll. 18.
I have a 7.
Wisteria,
no advantage.
It's creepy in here, and
I'm not a fan of this place. It's not, something is really not natural here. Everything is rotting. I really I would like to.
Yeah, it's all
Wisteria
of that.
sort of quietly like takes out a cloth and sort of cleans up a little bit, just a tiny bit.
It's like the opposite of cottagecore, right? It's like
It's cottage dirt.
This is creepcore. Here's cottagecore. There's creepcore.
This is the creepiest of core. This is what you all see, including Wisteria, because some of this is very obvious. The smell in here is stale and a little rank. There's obviously you're right next to the kitchen. You're getting wafts of rotted food. The area in front of you is kind of the living room entranceway, and like many of the other places that you've looked in on, it's haphazard, and there's furniture that has been pushed over. There's more of that red streaky mud everywhere, and some more of those handprints all over the place. And it looks like whatever happened here, most of it happened long enough ago that this has settled. So there is some bits of dust. And Wisteria, that's the moment where you kind of pull out a hanky and wipe your hands and wipe off
care
somewhere.
of this here. Maybe Druidcraft like a little duster.
The rest of you notice one more thing. Over on the side of one of the walls that's leading to, that's on your right, that you can see some more doors that are closed, but the wall itself has what looks like someone has taken that red mud and drawn a picture. And Cricket and Vint, you definitely recognize this looks a lot like the Kiana's drawing, the one that you found in the clutched hand of the farmer. It's a very simplistic representation of what looks like a figure reading a book to in front of a body of water that someone is drowning in.
God.
Bullseye.
Yeah, she's here. Hopefully.
Sorry. You think she's still in the house?
I mean, hopefully she's still herself and not one of those people. I don't know.
And we don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
Can you?
Well, they're people.
No.
What's going on? Like, are we? Seems like this person's just an artist. Is that it? Is that what's going on here? Like,
Well,
Among other things, yeah, she's an artist, but
mm,
it seems like she draws very disturbing images.
Yeah.
mm,
I show BB the drawing.
Of things that happened, maybe. I mean,
Yes.
is it possible that this is what actually happened?
that's what I think.
What was the name of the person she was waiting for who drowned?
Cully.
Cully.
She's reading a book in front of a lake where somebody's drowning. That's a little weird.
yeah, maybe she doesn't know how to swim.
But she just didn't notice, maybe.
That- Mm.
Okay. How many from this room where we are? There's a door to the kitchen, and
Yeah.
how many other doors are they? there, sorry.
There, 1, 2, 3. You see 4 other doors, but you off to the left, like you're in a little bit of a hallway, and so there's the kitchen door to your left. There's a closed door to your right. You can go down the hallway a little bit more to see what's off to the left, but from where you are, you can see in the main area 2 more doors leading into other rooms.
And how close is that trap door to the 4 farmers standing around?
You think about 12, 14 feet, because they're in a cluster on one side of the kitchen.
Mhm.
The trapdoor is on the other.
Okay.
From what you were looking at, the door that you would assume leads into the kitchen, you'd be essentially on the opposite side of what the window you were looking at. So the farmers would be about 10, 15 feet away on your right, and the trapdoor would be about the same distance on your left. You could go up to the trapdoor without needing to get within touching range or within 5 feet of the farmers.
Okay. So yeah, I think at that point, things like, maybe we should go check out the trap door. And I think he BB's gonna go up and he's gonna try and walk over, or like as carefully he's like doing the step not to make a noise. Anytime even the wood creaks, he just like stops and like looks over at them. Okay, still not moving, and start continuing to, and then hopefully reaches the trap door to open it.
All right. You open the door to the kitchen slowly. You all now clearly see, without the grime of the window, the scene before you. BB starts to slowly move over to where the trapdoor is. You're running off of that nat 20 from before.
Woohoo!
You're as stealthy as someone could be in the situation. The floorboards do creak a tiny bit, but other than that, you are silently moving through. None of the farmers react in any way as you walk up to this trapdoor in the floor. It looks like it would be the kind of trapdoor that leads into an underground cellar. It's a fairly good size. You would imagine there would be basically a ladder going into probably a cold storage underneath the house. This is fairly common.
Do we want to go down there or down the creepy hole?
As BB says this out loud to all of you, standing in the hallway.
Yes.
Absolutely nothing happens.
I hate you.
The farmers do not react at all.
That's weird.
Okay, you know what? This is it. Cricket's going to step forward. Look at the farmer that's, I guess, closest to her, the one she can see. And she's just going to hold her hands out. And they're going to glow like sun. And she's going to go, approach. And she's casting command on him because she wants to check him out.
Before you cast that, Cricket, go ahead and roll a you're a cleric, so wisdom is your spell save.
Hold on.
Your spell, use wisdom for your spells.
Yep, I'm slipping back through. I'm using my phone, so it's like the flip page version, which is not the best. Wait, 3:17. Okay.
go ahead and roll me a wisdom check, not a saving throw check.
Okay. 16. That was almost a 1. Oh my god.
You hold up your hand and begin to cast the spell. But then looking at them now that you're this close, they are absolutely in the same state that those other farmers were in back in Promise. And you remember that whatever it is that is controlling these farmers, it's powerful. It is something that
Dark.
you don't think your command would work.
Oh, I can tell. Okay, in second thought, stay.
They do. They stay. They do not.
I would like to use Druidcraft, please, to just make little vines to tie their shoes together, so that they can't follow us if they do decide to wake up. Just very quietly, little tiny vines coming in and weaving in and between the laces.
Flowers.
Give me a quick sleight of hand check, just for
Okay.
funsies.
It's a 13.
Yeah, little vines creep up from between the floorboards and wrap around each of the 4 of their feet and through some of the laces on their shoes. And it's not the tightest of bindings. If anyone was to take a moment, they could obviously get out of it, but certainly they would not be able to just move.
I agree with my friend here. Just stay, please. And thank you.
Vind moves next to where Vivi is in the trapdoor. Sorry, I missed. Did you already open the trapdoor, or are you pondering whether to?
Oh,
It's
no,
not
I
open
opened
yet.
it. Oh,
Oh,
I
did
did.
you?
Oh,
Okay.
I thought
Okay.
I did. That was my intent, was to go out over and actually
Okay.
open it.
I misunderstood that. Then I will say yes. He has opened the trapdoor, and you can, in fact, see that yes, there's a ladder leading down into a what looks like a dark storage area.
Oh boy.
Okay. Well, looking into that and then looking at everyone else, I say, well, maybe my vision, it's, I mean, whatever we need to do here is underground. So I say we probably just do it. I mean,
Okay. Oh, joy. Okay.
Okay. Before we go down the hole, Cricket would like to say strength of today, fortitude of tomorrow, and she casts bless on everybody before we go down the hole.
Nice.
yes.
Hashtag blessed.
Perfect.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
You all head on down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You descend the ladder into what is obviously a cold storage cellar. It's about 10 feet down. It's dark in here. So those of you who don't have some other way of seeing in the dark, it's very difficult. It's basically just the light coming from the open trapdoor above. It's not tossed in the same way the rest of the house is, but there's definitely a rotting smell here. A lot of the stuff that's in here, especially some of the food stuff, looks like it was just left. And what you notice as you descend, the south wall is collapsed. The stone and the wood have fallen in on themselves, and there is a dark, narrow tunnel leading off into the dirt.
Oh.
I do have dark vision. Would I be able to use that to see a little more or clearly? Anything else in here?
You
I
don't
think we
notice
all-
anything additional, but basically those of you with who doesn't have dark vision, let me put it that way.
Well, let's see. I don't
I think
know.
we all do.
You don't know. Assume anything.
We all do.
Oh, 60 feet.
Yeah.
All right, then all of you notice all of this. And while it's a little harder to see, everything is kind of in shades of gray and more outlines than anything. You can navigate in this space, and you don't notice anything else beyond that.
And we have the same smell, I guess.
It's this rank, it's a rotting smell.
I'm going to wait. Does it work this way in the spells? Can I? Can I use? Is there any way I can use press? I hate that word so much.
Prestidigitation.
Thank you.
It's a hard one.
To maybe like waft away that scent or create a better smell that replaces for us.
You absolutely can, but because it's basically going to last for 6 seconds, you would need to continue to do that.
It's like,
yeah.
So
It's-
it's like,
But I
pretending
have
to
lots of
spray.
flowers, so I can give you all a flower if you'd
Oh
like.
yes, please.
yeah,
I
that would
hand
be
out.
awesome.
I hand out some
Oh my God.
flowers.
Put mine on my snout. Right.
The
above
flowers
nose.
from wisteria absolutely help. You can it's muting that rotted smell, but it's definitely taking the edge off.
Oh, good. Thank you.
So what's ahead of us?
There is a dark tunnel leading off into the dirt that is not a room like this. The wall has been collapsed and there is a tunnel.
Does the dirt look traveled? Like, are there any signs of people moving through here?
Give me an investigation check.
That is a 10.
So
I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna use my die, my psychic die, to enhance that for a 13 total.
all right. You move up into the entranceway to this tunnel to look, and you notice a couple of things. Yes, the dirt on the bottom of this tunnel, you do see footprints in and out in both directions. You do notice that the walls of this tunnel, it's kind of a misshapen, roundish tunnel. And you do notice handprints on the dirt, on the floor, and on the wall. And now that you've moved up in basically the front of this tunnel, you think you hear singing coming from down the tunnel.
Oh, that's
You
not
can't make-
creepy.
You can't make out any of the words. It's whoever or whatever is making this singing sound. It's bouncing off the tunnel enough that you're losing the consonants and vowels, but you definitely hear it's the echo of a melody.
Do we recognize this Song of the Diamonds?
You're a little too far away from it to be able to pick out enough.
Does it sound like one person singing, or is it like a chorus?
You think it's one. You think once again, it's hard to tell because it's obviously far enough away that you're not even getting the whole melody, which is why Cricket, you can't immediately place it. You're just hearing these bits and pieces, but it always does only seem to be one voice.
Okay. Relay that to everyone.
Okay. Oh man. And there doesn't seem to be anything like recognizable about the song for us.
Not from here because you're not able to
get closer.
Yeah, you're not able to pick enough detail.
Well, I think we're gonna have to get closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just go.
Yes, I agree with Wisteria. I can't think of anything creepier than a dark tunnel with scary singing going on at the other end. But this is why we're here. Maybe
we're gonna go straight to that. Okay, got it. All right, that's great.
All right.
Yeah.
You all enter the tunnel. It goes south for a little bit and then it starts to gently curve, but it's rough. It's obvious that this was not, it's almost a meandering tunnel, like whatever and whoever had carved this out was just kind of digging in whatever direction that they could. As you move forward, it takes about a minute or two as you kind of go around the bend. The song clears up a little bit and you start to hear words. And it's very obvious that this is a female voice singing.
Okay.
And what you start to hear echoing off the hallways. And then the lake was feeling hungry, filled with hands, all tipped with claws. The clearest lace appealed to Cully, and swam towards hungry jaws. But he was pulled ashore to safety, 'cause he was in good company. Respect the lake and don't be hasty, and the rattle is good to thee. And I need Vint, Cricket, and Wisteria to give me history checks.
Okay.
12.
Come on, man. 12.
5.
Is there anything that BB could do?
Sadly, in this case, no, because the two of you who got 12s.
Wait, you know what? I can use enhance ability if this is feeling very important to us.
Here's what I'll say. I'm going to tell you what you remember right now, since this didn't happen that long ago, and then you can decide if you want to cast that and learn more.
Okay.
You all recognize this. Even BB, you do recognize this a little bit as part of the Awakening song. You don't recognize this specific song, but you do recognize it. The rest of you, it's the story of Cradle Lace Lake.
Right.
The Proclaimer just told you about it, but that second verse is not right. That's not what Proclaimer Ward said happened. You can't remember the original verse, although you'd remember the story that they told. That's not the way that the song actually goes.
Someone's changing history.
Someone's changing history or someone's lying.
I think she might be under the same effect as the other farmers. Can we see her from here or just hear still?
At the moment, you can just hear. You've moved far enough into the tunnel that the words and the melody have become clear. And but you think at this point, just around the bend, you'll be able to probably see whoever is singing. And I will say, she continues to sing. She starts to repeat the story, the song.
Respect the lake. Respect the lake. And the rattle will be good to thee.
I think Vint will just raise his voice and go, Kiana.
No, just
The singing pauses for a moment, and you hear a young woman's voice calling out, but in that way of trying to avoid being too loud, like she's intentionally using the echo to hopefully get your attention. And you all hear, please go. You shouldn't be here.
We want to help you.
That's nice, but I'm afraid if you stay, it'll be bad. So you should probably go.
Can we like tiptoe up and look around so we can see her? Because maybe she's trying to hide something.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me a stealth check. As you're walking on up. As Cricket does that, I will say that we have reached 500 followers. Thank you to everybody in chat. We're going to go a little long since we have those technical difficulties at the beginning. So we're going to have an extra 5-10 minutes at the end of this, but stick around. There will be that giveaway at the end. If you stay for while we're doing our credits, you can put a specific hashtag into the chat in order to participate in the raffle. But that'll be happening at the end. And what was your stealth check?
Oops.
19.
Woo!
Cricket, as you use the sound of this person talking to mask any tiny little bit of noise, and you walk up to where the curve of this tunnel continues, and looking around the bend, you see it opens up into a little bit of a cavern, a larger open space. There's not much in here as far as it's just bigger. It looks like it's more of a natural cavern. There's some actual rock that it seems like the dirt and the digging have butted up against. But you do see two things. You see Kiana, obviously a 20-ish year old woman in simple farmer's garb. She is sitting on the ground cross-legged. Her posture indicates that she was facing to her right away from you, but her head has turned back towards the tunnel where you have called out. But you get the sense that she hasn't seen you yet. She's just heard Vint calling out and is responding. She seems disheveled, tired, but her eyes are clear. There is no mark on her chest. And the direction that she's sitting in, you see a haphazard pile of something. It's hard to make out from here. It might be a body. It might be a couple of bodies. You're not sure.
I don't want to alert her to what I've seen, but Cricket's going to turn back towards the other three and gesture. But like, Vint, keep talking. So she doesn't.
Realizing that Vint is gonna step into her, like, so she can see him, and be like, with his hands raised, and try to make a distraction so everyone else can get into position, and be like, we are here to help you. We saw the farmers. We see the place being consumed by corruption. We want to help.
That's very kind. I don't know if you can. I'm glad. I hope everybody is okay. I'm doing my best to keep him, to lull him to sleep. Just.
Ooh.
And you watch as she's been tired and fearful, and as you ask who, it's as though her countenance changes for a moment and she brightens and she says, "Oh, Cully's been here with me. It's been wonderful to have him back." And then it shifts again as though she's realized what she said.
Yeah.
And she says, "He's sleeping right now. I think the song helps him sleep. So I've been singing." You shouldn't be here. It's dangerous. He doesn't like to be disturbed.
I'd like to. May I cast Fairy Fire?
You absolutely can.
I would like to cast Fairy Fire. This is really unsettling.
Okay. You
want to
can
make
go
sure
ahead.
there aren't invisible people hanging out in this room with us.
Sure.
So I take out a little truss of pink-white urn-shaped flowers with these red and bronze leaves. It's Pyrus japonica, and I will sort of crumble it up, and as I toss it in the air, it illuminates a 20-foot cube.
Awesome. I know there's a save for that for creatures. What's the save?
The save on it is a Dex 13.
Okay. Kiana doesn't even try to move. In fact, as your fairy fire appears, what color is it?
We're gonna go with like a glowing pink-white because that's the color of the flower.
She looks up, and there's a moment in where the fear kind of switches to a bemused look, and she looks down at herself being covered in these twinkling lights, and it almost, she almost seems pleased by it, like a small child, even though she's a grown adult. Like, huh.
Oh.
When they fall to her right, you see a creature immediately emerge.
Nope. Nope.
As you think for a second something is standing up out of some of the pile that is there, but what appears is a grotesque assortment of hands, of arms, of just hands and arms, dozens of them, reaching and clawing and standing and grasping, and you hear this low moan come from it as it is covered in this fairy fire. And as this monster appears and Kiana is broken from her bemusement back to that terror on her face, she scrambles away and says, no, you have to run. And we can all roll initiative.
Oh.
Roll the
Let's see
22.
what I do.
Nice.
All right, 22 for Vint. BB, what'd you get?
18.
And Wisteria?
14.
And Cricket.
14.
Also 14? All right.
Well, there's the hands.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Vince like, see, I told you. Yes.
Literal
All right.
hands. Okay.
So this monster is covered in the fairy fire, which does give, I think, all of you advantage on attacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is very clearly scrambling, clawing, digging its way towards you in a frantic flailing of limbs. But Vint, you get to go first. BB, you will be on deck.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Vint will go just full on Radiant Citadel protector mode and be interpose himself between Kiana and the creature. I don't know if that puts me within 5 feet of the creature.
No, the creature is about 15 feet away, so you can move up, but you'll still have some distance. It's 15 feet away from where you and Cricket were.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'm gonna well, since I have advantage anyway, I will throw one of the psychic daggers. The tattoo flares again with orange light, and like this knife of energy forms in his hand. He lets it go and flies like a butterfly, and hopefully hits. Let me see. That is a 7. Oh, I have advantage. I forgot.
You have advantage.
Yeah, so that's a 19.
Nice.
Fortunately, this thing covered in lights, you're able to whip that that blade around, and it does hit.
Yeah, and because I have advantage, I'm gonna sneak attack for 9 plus 12. Oh, that's max damage.
Ooh, nice.
That's a total of 21.
Oh, don't forget to add the blast too.
Bless doesn't get added to damage. It's attack rolls and saving throws.
Oh,
Right. If I had needed more for attack, I had that. But yes. So total of 21, and that is a ranged attack. And I, with my bonus action, I'm just gonna use it to. Oh wait, I don't need to because I use ranged attack. No, never mind. I'm just gonna stand next to Kiana and be like between her and the creature.
Okay.
So it doesn't come after her, hopefully.
It's very clearly coming after all of you. She hasn't moved up to you yet. She's kind of moved diagonally, scrambled away. You do see as your psychic blade lashes out, it does some terrible damage to this monster. Several of the arms are now bleeding. And BB, it is your turn with Cricket on deck.
I think BBC's like, well, I guess don't call you a guardian for nothing. And he goes, gosh, this is literally the only thing I can do. And then like starts like clearly like not wanting to use fire, but the only thing he can use is fire. So he starts actually, is there any flames around? No, yeah, this is what I'll do like he essentially makes a firebolt and then shoots it across to see if it'll hit.
Sure.
That was an 11, and we have an advantage. So I'm gonna roll again. That was a 10, so useless.
11
was my best. What
What do
It's
I
a
do for
D4
that again?
Plus a D4.
It's a D plus D4. Just roll a D4.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. Where's the way to? Oh, there they are. D 4. There it is. Oh, nice. Plus 3 for a total of 14.
With there's something about Cricket's words from before as you're looking at this horrible monster and it's put in this pit in your stomach, but Cricket's blessing from before fortifies you just enough that you're able to hit this creature. Go ahead and roll damage.
Nice. Okay. Go 10. Oh, that was just 2 damage.
All right. It smashes into the front of this creature, doesn't do a ton of damage, but definitely burns away some of this awful flesh on these hands and arms. Anything else?
That was just let me see. Actions to have a bonus action in combat, two weapon fighting, cover source of draconic action. Ooh, I can do that means until you start your next turn. You and I have it. Ooh, well, we kind of already have this, but in case the fairy fire goes away, I have another way to give you guys advantage.
All right.
Oh.
Then with that, Cricket, it is your turn. Wisteria, you're on deck.
Okay, so Cricket's going to walk forward towards a little bit more, I guess closer, within 30 feet. I guess we have that. Okay. And she's going to say, I do not know where you come from and what kind of abomination you are, but may you find solace in night. And she's going to attempt to cast Bane on him.
All right. Is that a save or an attack?
It's a save.
What kind of save?
Charisma 13.
I mean, these are the most charismatic of hands. That's an 8.
Just each
They're
one.
jazz handing.
Yeah.
So does our
Each one
bless
of
goes
them
away
is-
then? Because they're both
no, because Bane
concentration,
is.
yeah?
I don't think Bane is concentration.
Isn't it?
Oh, up to 1 minute.
Oh, then it is.
Yeah. It is a concentration save.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
That's
All right.
fine.
So yeah,
All right.
Bless
So
has
good.
gone
All right.
away, but this does affect this creature. So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. Oh no, it's Bane. It just means that whenever a target, if you fail a saving throw, whenever the creature makes an attack or a
okay.
saving throw, the
It's an
target
inverse bless.
must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
You see all these arms shudder a little bit as you reach out with your magic. Anything else?
No, that's absolutely it.
All right, Wisteria, it is your turn, and then it's gonna be my turn because this creature rolled real bad.
Wisteria is going to take out a seed, and she holds it. They hold it up in the air, and it starts to weave together. And it starts to form an object that then sort of poofs out of existence. It's going to reappear. I'm using my performance of creation to create a custom manacle for this thing.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And I would like to have it appear on the creature because I choose where. Oh, it's an unoccupied space. Darn it. Right
you know
next to
what?
it, ready to snap on.
Yeah, I like this too much. Okay, so it's going to appear right next to it. It's scrambling towards all of you, so you can put it right in front of this
Sure,
creature.
it's an awaiting arms of manacles for the awaiting arms.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a saving throw on its turn to see if it avoids being caught up in the manacles. Is there anything else that you would like to do?
I will give as a bonus action. I would like to give I'll take out a dandelion, and over at Vince, you have a bardic inspiration and it does all the things it does.
Yes.
Awesome. As that happens, this creature goes. After this, it will be Vint. First, it's going to make a dexterity saving throw to try to avoid being caught up. It rolled a 16. What's your spell save DC?
Is that with the Bane on it too?
That is not with the bait.
That's good.
Hold on. Let me roll that D4. That's a 14. What's your spell save DC?
13.
Ah,
Ooh.
It stumbles around this set of manacles, but it manages to avoid them. I'll say it's still there. So if it stays there, you might be able to grab it in a different way.
I will actually twist time with a prophetic marigold and use silvery barbs as a reaction. It needs to reroll.
okay.
All right. Let me
Cool.
reroll. That was better.
Oh,
Oh,
That was better. I'm sorry. But
Okay.
your manacles still do stay there, and so it'll have to make that save again next turn.
Okay.
Vint, it comes barreling towards you in a flurry of dirty nails and awful arms, and I need you
And-
to make a Constitution saving throw.
and Vint, you have advantage on that next saving throw, or on that next roll you're making, as well as the bardic inspiration, because from silvery barbs.
I'm definitely gonna take advantage on the saving throw.
All right.
Here we go. Oof, that is an 8 total.
That's with the bless and everything.
Well,
No,
we
bless
don't
is
have bless
gone.
anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
you don't bless.
But-
That's right.
Yeah.
But you do have the dandelion if you want to use your
Oh,
bardic
yeah.
inspiration.
Oh, definitely. I will use that. That's a D6, right?
Yes, and if you're using it on a save, it is the mode of potential on a saving throw. You gain temporary hit points equal to the number rolled plus 3 on top of that.
Okay, so I rolled a 1, unfortunately. So the total is 9, but I get 4 temporary hit points. Yes.
So you'll gain 4 temporary hit points. Mhm.
Okay, perfect.
You feel Wisteria's boost hearten you just as dozens of hands grab at you and rip and tear at you. You're going to take 6 necrotic damage, and you feel make a wisdom saving throw.
That is an 18 total.
It's sucking the life out of you. Every scratch, every claw, every tear, all of that necrotic damage, this is feeding it. But that is the end of its turn, and Vint, it is your turn.
I'm like trying to get this creature off of me. Are the manacles still within range, or did it move
are.
past them?
It
Okay.
moved past them, but not so far past that if you wanted to do something with them, I'm gonna let you try.
Yeah. I will try, since they're right there. I'm gonna try to maneuver myself in a way that I'm like, that I can reach them and try to use them to chain this creature, since Wisteria, manifested them. I don't know how, like it has many hands. So,
It does have a lot of hands, but I'm
gonna-
going to imagine these are big manacles, and you do think that if you could manacle this creature, while it wouldn't completely stop it, it would definitely hamper its movement and maybe its attacks.
Yeah.
Go ahead
Okay.
and give me your Dexy. Give me a sleight of hand to see if you can manage to snag those manacles while you're holding this thing off.
Yeah, I'm very good at that. That is 19.
You grab it. You grab a hold of those manacles and give me an attack roll, like you were using one of your psychic knives.
Okay. And
Maybe
is
you're
that-
on deck.
Oh, I rolled a nat
Okay.
20.
Yay! Oof.
I was gonna say, do I have advantage? But well, I mean, whatever.
With a nat 20, you take hold of these manacles, which, despite the fact that they are manacles for hands, it's Wisteria that has made them. So I imagine there's probably like almost vine
Adjustments.
motifs on them and flowers, and they are huge. And
Wow.
you grab multiple sets of hands and wrists with these, and as soon as they clink on, you feel the entire creature shudder, and that feeling that you get, the sense that you've hurt this creature somehow by doing this. It didn't like this at all. This monster is is injured by its hampering of movement. Anything else?
Ooh.
Okay. Do I still have my bonus action or?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do my offhand attack with the bonus action since I'm like riding melee with it.
Sure.
Oh, that's another nat 20. Oh my god.
How
Ending
much?
on a high
How much
note.
is how much is your sneak attack damage? Like, what do you usually roll?
I usually roll 2d6 and 2d6 for the basic attack as well. So that would be 4d6 total.
Oh my
Or-
god.
And
well,
then you would be
8d6.
8d6. Don't even
Yeah.
bother rolling it. Vint, describe in gory detail the death of this monster.
Okay. So I chain it with the manacles, and once I feel that strikes a weakness within the creature, Vin just sort of like grabs it at the core where all of these hands meet, and kind of like grabs it, and that tattoo flares, like all of that psychic energy channels through his mind into his body, and then like instead of like a knife, it's just kind of an explosion of orange light that channels directly into the core of this creature. And yeah, I guess I just attack whatever consciousness it has or whatever is keeping it coherent as a single being.
As that knife plunges on in, there's not a consciousness here. It's once again your psychic abilities have been opened up in this area, and you feel this undead monstrosity of a creature. It's you hear voices, but they're echoes. They are constructs. They're not real. They are mocking almost. You hear, come with us, come swim with us, be with us, play with us. But it's it's false. It is just the echoes of these arms and these hands that have formed together into whatever this creature is to start to take over this town. And as you plunge your knife in, all of the arms just fall apart as though you had struck the very core that was holding them all together. And you see them all drop to the dirt, unmoving. You see to your right, Kiana sighs in relief, but then also drops to the dirt, now unconscious.
I'm gonna run over and check what's happening with her.
We are out of initiative.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, as you check things, we're gonna wrap a little bit of this up,
Okay.
because I know we went over. Thank you everybody for hanging out. So, Wisteria, give me a medicine check. Meanwhile, if you're listening to this, you might want to come to the chat, because we're going to be starting the giveaway. You want to put hashtag Radiant into the chat, and one lucky winner in a few minutes will be pulled for those dice. So stay tuned for a few more minutes. As what did you get on your medicine
It's
check?
a 7. Not good. I can do a healing spell if I need to, but I don't.
With a 7, it's hard to tell details, but there's some very obvious things. She is obviously exhausted. You can see the deep lines on her face. You can see the sallow, sunken eyes. She has obviously, she's kind of sleep deprived, you think. She is unconscious, but it is steady breathing and a steady heartbeat. So you think she'll be okay, but it's probably gonna take a little while for her to wake up. And I'll say the next time we get together, there'll be a few things that Wisteria and Cricket and BB will be wrapping up with this and heading back to Promise to get together with Ustina. But Vint, as your trained investigator eyes can kind of put a few things together, you remember the things that Kiana said, and you realize whatever she thought this creature was, whether it was Cully or not, she was doing her best to keep it calm. And now you think to go upstairs, and the farmers that are upstairs, their eyes are clear. They have put down their weapons, and they look confused and worried and have no memory of the last couple days, couple weeks. It's unclear. And you're pretty sure this is the creature that was controlling all of the farmers, and with its destruction, that breaks the hold.
Also, they have a
And-
terrible headache.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
before we go, I will ask real quick, Vint, is there anything else you're going to do here in this with Kiana or here before the camera pans away and we take a break?
Well, I think just here, in general, he's gonna try to make sure there's no other trace or remains of this creature. But in general, I think Vince is gonna stay in God's breath, because there's a lot that has been, there's much more that is happening here. He believes that this creature is a symptom rather than the cause of what's making the land just barren and stuff like that. So, in the future, I don't know if we role play that now or if we leave it in the background, but he would just choose to stay, and for the dual reason of reconnecting with a culture that he, felt a little distant from, and also to help the people here.
I love it. So yeah,
Yeah.
as the rest of your companions go off to take what they've learned here in God's Breath to their own mystery, you stay behind to help. And you get a chance to learn a lot, because Proclaimer Ward is going to hang out with you and help. They want to find out some of the same questions that you have, and we'll hopefully be able to get back in touch with you. But for now,
Yeah.
that pauses this game. Thank you once again, everybody, for hanging out a little over time, because we had a few of those technical difficulties, and I wanted to at least get to the end of this episode and the end of this game. And thank you, Mario, for joining us on this.
Yay.
Having me. This was super fun.
It was amazing to have you. And your adventure will be coming up soon.
Can't
But
wait.
So excited.
yeah, I am super excited. But let's take a moment and go around and let everybody say who they are and where you can find you, starting with Alicia.
Okay, ready? I'm Alicia Marie. You can find me on all socials at Alicia Marie Body. You can find me on Monday nights and in Voyagers of the Jump on the Glass Cannon Network, and on Tuesday nights, the Demi-Plane RPG for Children of Erte with Lauren and Jen. And of course, Friday nights here. So it's been real. Thank you, Mario. We had so much fun with you.
I am Jen Kretschmer. You can find me on Twitter as @DreamWisp. You can find me streaming on Twitch as DreamWispJen. Mondays I stream on my own channel. Tuesdays I am on Children of Erte on Demi-Plane's channel with Lauren and Alicia. Wednesdays I am on Vampire: The Nightlife on Play Renegade, playing a very different character. Who would eat Wisteria alive in moments. And then Fridays, obviously, I am here. I'm an author. I have a bunch of fun and exciting things coming up that you can find out about on my socials. So yeah, thank you all so much.
And KP, who has joined us, who will be joining us again once for a few more episodes.
Hello everybody. My name is KP. I go by KP Lemon Studios on all your social medias. I do a bunch of things. Namely, get to play wonderful games like this with wonderful folks like you saw today. I have a couple fun new campaigns coming up in September. We don't have exact dates mapped out fully yet, but just check me out on my Twitter. I'll be constantly updating on there. I practically live there. It's not healthy, I know, but it is what it is. However, one game that is still ongoing is our Wednesday game. It is a D&D campaign that we're on, where if you like anything that's related to like an isekai, or where people are sucked into their own campaigns and now are living out their lives at their own character, and all sorts of chaos and weirdness that's happening, and shenanigans, especially if you like shenanigans, do check us out on Nat One Fun. Our wonderful moderator, Dan, who was helping us throughout this, is our DM for that. And we have such a fantastic crew on it. It's really, really fun. I play a very high Dragonborn half the time. So if that, I don't know, if that doesn't sell it to you, I don't know what else will. So But yeah, outside of that, I'll have like practically a game almost every day of the week once September properly rolls around. So yeah, that's gonna be a lot of storytelling. So
And once again, thank you, Mario. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say that's it. Yeah.
And Mario, thank you.
No, thank you for having me. This was super fun. So glad I got to play with all of you, and Kelly, who's not here too, but you know, we got a few sessions. They were amazing, and yeah, thank you. I am one of the writers for Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel. I wrote The Fiend of Hollow Mind, the adventure that's coming after this, and I'm super excited to see how everyone you know, goes through that. Yeah, if you want to follow what I work on, I've worked on a couple products. Hunter, The Reckoning. I worked on the upcoming Dragonlance adventure that D&D is gonna have at the end of the year, and I also have a bunch of other stuff you know, on the works. So if you wanna keep up with that, you can follow me on Twitter, and everyone else is Ilwarius. Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you. And I've been your humble DM, Lauren Urban. You can follow me on Twitter as OboLauren. Thank you once again to our fabulous producers who were some of the hardest working people on this show, making all of the tech stuff happen. Thank you to everybody in chat for hanging out with us. The winner of this giveaway should be happening shortly. Whoever is going to be the winner, make sure that you whisper "Be Never Ending" on Twitch so that they can get your information so they could send you your prize. And I think that's all I'm doing is I'm waiting for the winner to be told to me, and then we will go. Next week, we will be having our off week, which means we're not having a full episode, but I will be there and some of these players, and we're going to be talking about Written in Blood, this episode that just happened, since now we're technically done with that adventure. If you have any questions about us playing it and running it, come by next week. And it looks like at Lesh68 is our winner for the giveaway for tonight. So definitely whisper "Be Never Ending." Congratulations. You have an amazing set of dice coming your way. Thank you for joining us. And remember, wherever you are in the universe, we hope we've brought the joy of the Radiant Citadel to you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.